Temp gauge. Oh yeah. Guys, this stuff came in for my tractor. I'm going to be putting a aftermarket temp gauge because the TYM does not have one for some strange reason, and made a video on an update on my tractor, and I had a comment from somebody that somebody has the same exact tractor, and they said, you know, it'd be nice if they had a temp gauge. And you know, I said, wow, that is a good idea. I don't have a temp gauge, so you know, I can't keep my eye on, you know, the temperature. I definitely don't want to blow a head gasket on a tractor, so this is a very cheap investment. Everything you see here ran me under $40. Got a digital gauge. I was torn between the digital and an analog. Analog is going to be probably, I would say, more accurate, I guess you could say. But I went with the digital. Don't ask me why. I went with the digital. I don't know. So it comes, the kit, you're going to have to piece it together. It's going to come in three different auctions you're going to have to purchase. First one is this here. This is going to go into, I'm going to have to cut my pipe going into the radiator and fit that in there. That was one auction. The other auction was the actual gauge, which was the gauge, the wiring harness, and a sensor. Directions, very easy. There's only 3 wires to hook up. You're going to have your black, red, and green. Your green is going to be going to the sensor. Your red's going to be going to your 12-volt ignition switch, and of course black is ground. All right, so let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to do is, here's my joint and here's my sensor. I'm going to put some tape on there, some plumber's tape. Going to get that on there. All right, got my 13mm wrench here. Now, I'm pretty sure different auctions are going to have different size sensors, but this one uses a 13 mil. I'm going to get that tightened down. Okay, there it is. Next I'm going to do is go out there to the tractor and install this housing. Here I am on top of my tractor. Oh man, it is a tight fit in here. So this is where I'm going to install it, right here. I'm going to try to center it as best as possible. Probably somewhere around here. It is going to be a tight fit because there's a bend right here. So I'm really going to have to look at it. Maybe if I cut it right here and loosen it down there, maybe I'll be able to twist it a little bit, turn it to the right where this will line up a little bit better. But what I'm going to use is just normal cutters. These are for PVC. They should cut through it without a problem. I'm going to get that done and I'll continue the video. So here it is installed, right here. I did cut out a section roughly about 1 inch and went from there and kind of trimmed it up, as I didn't want to cut too much. So I started off cutting out about 1 inch and getting this housing installed. So there it is. Looks good. Next thing I'm going to do is run my wire from the sensor into the cab, and also from my 12-volt in. And I forgot to mention, this is a 34mm housing because they come in all different sizes. So I went with a 34. It was a good tight fit, and yeah, looks good. Here is my wiring. Got it wired, zip tied, out of the way of everything. Just when you wire this up, just keep it out of the way of everything in case you got to get to your filter or any kind of hoses. Just, you know, put it somewhere where it's not going to be in your way working on your tractor if you have to. And also I put a little heat shield around there just in case, just to protect that wire. But there it is running down near my cab, and it's going to come in underneath the floorboard there. There's an actual cutout already. All right, so next I'm going to get on wiring the inside. Now is I'm finding a good location for my pod where I want it. I think I'm going to leave it up here. But I'm going to look around for a few more minutes, but it's probably going to be right here. All right, so I'm going to mount my pod so I know how much wire I have to cut, because I'm going to have to make 2 of these a little bit longer, and we'll go from there. Pod mounted. I'm sorry that I didn't continue doing a step-by-step, but it just stopped raining here. It was raining here for about 20 minutes, and it just got hot as shit. So I just want to get this done. So, got my pod mounted. I got my wire running right back here, as you can see there. I removed the dash, just pried it, removed these 2 bolts, pried the dash back, hid my wire in there. It's all hidden. This is my wire coming in from underneath the cab, from the sensor, from the engine. My hot wire is going into my fuse box. I did not want to splice to the ignition. Didn't want to go into that, so I went in right into the fuse box, and I tied it into the fuse that said panel, my instrument panel. So when I turn my key on, the gauge will come on. So that's that. So it's nicely hidden. The pod, I don't know. I'm kind of happy where it's at because it's easy to see, but I was going to mount it here on the side and kind of twist the gauge so it was straight out of the way, but looks all right. All right, so what I'm going to do now is get in the tractor started. I have not started it yet. I'm going to get in there and see what happens. And of course, after you're done and everything, run your tractor up to temperature. Go out there and check underneath your hood where you installed the actual little block that holds the sensor. Make sure you have no coolant leaks. Also refill your coolant because you are going to lose a little bit. Just go over the whole job, so make sure you're not out on a job and getting stuck and something happens. Check everything out, run it up to temperature, let it run, check for leaks. If everything's good to go, you're done. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.